Hey, what's up, everybody? This is D once again, and I'm doing something I haven't did in a little bit. I remember I was doing DVD kind of retrospectives and reviews of DVDs that I own in my own personal library, and then I kind of stopped doing that a little bit, but I'm gonna get back into a couple of them. So I got one. I'm gonna do this real quick. Let's check out this one right here. Y'all know about that. That's Twister, starring Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. Also, Philip Seymour Hoffman is in this in a role that's very. I haven't seen just a ton of Philip Seymour Hoffman films, but I've seen enough to know that this is kind of a somewhat of a different performance from him. I remember I saw Twister a long time ago. I mean, I saw Twister when it first came out when I was a kid, and I didn't really think any. I remember I thought his character, forgot what his character's name was in Twister, but I remember his character was, the goofy, kind of funny, somewhat outrageous character, but I didn't recognize him as Philip Seymour Hoffman. I kind of learned about who, Philip Seymour Hoffman was later on in terms of, some of his serious roles and as I got older, I learned, the greatness in terms of acting and acting ability and all that type of stuff. I learned about his greatness later on. Like when I was watching Twister as a kid, I didn't know who Philip Seymour Hoffman was, but then I learned who he was later on, and I'm like, wait a minute, he was in Twister. That was that's who that was, and so. Yeah, it's a little, and a lot of people do still kind of forget that Philip Seymour Hoffman was in Twister. So yeah, but anyways, so Twister. This is I don't remember when I get this on camera. I don't remember when I got this copy or whatever, because the first time I saw the movie was in theaters, and then at some point years later, I bought a little cheap DVD copy of it, probably at Target or something, because Twister is a good movie. Twister is a good movie. It's when I talk about pros and cons of movies, the positives and the negatives, and off the top of my head, I don't really have any negatives for this film. It's to this day, I feel like it's the best Hollywood tornado movie that's ever came out, and it's still up there pretty high as far as good just natural disaster films in general. And I might have that gives me an idea. I might have to do a little list of some of the best natural disaster movies. Twister's right up there. Everybody plays their role I shouldn't say perfectly, but very well. I have no issues with any of the acting. Who else? Carrie Ewells, I think is the way you pronounce his name. He's in this as well, playing kind of he's kind of a villain, but not really. I mean, he's not trying to kill anybody. He's just kind of a dirty, underhanded, competitor when it comes to the storm chasing field or whatever. So, but he's not really trying to kill anybody. And spoiler alert, they actually try to save him from getting killed unsuccessfully at one point in the film. So he's not really a bad guy. This is one of those movies where the villain is basically Mother Nature, and at the same time not, because it's still beautiful even in its destruction. Mother Nature is still it's one of those weird things, like you can't really get too mad at Mother Nature because it just is what it is. It can be tragic and stuff like that, but I don't know if you can really say it's evil, the same way you can, talk about people being evil and stuff. So there's no real human villain in this film. But it has good action. It was directed by Jan de Bont, who also directed Speed, which is another movie that was really fond of as a kid, and I still have a lot of respect and love for the film now as an adult. So yeah, it was directed by the director of Speed and then the producers of Jurassic Park. So it's got some good pedigree as far as entertaining action and stuff. There, lots of good scenes in this. Lots of just good action, very good visuals. Like I said, it's still some of the best natural disaster movie sequences, especially pertaining to tornadoes, that I've seen on film. And this movie is old. What I will say is, in the opening scene, there's like a satellite scene. It's in outer space. I will say that particular scene does look, when you watch it now, it does look kind of dated as far as an outer space scene, you know. But other than that, I mean, all the other stuff with the tornado and the special effects and things like that looks really good. Looks really good. And I know everybody remembers the cows spinning around in the tornado, and just some of those visuals and stuff. This was a good movie. I remember when this was out, and kind of the little bit of hype that was around it. It didn't have the same hype that, say, stuff like Jurassic Park or Independence Day, stuff like that got. It didn't have that same level of hype, but it was still, you know, it was still somewhat of a big deal, at least for adventure movie lovers. So I do recommend watching this if you've never watched it. If you're into, goodness, it's like my camera holding coordination is horrible. It's sometimes it's hard for me just to get the simplest thing in frame. Taking me 30 seconds just to get this whole box lined up on screen and shit. But anyway, so if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go out. You can rent it on TV, I mean on demand or whatever. Or, you know, you can find it super cheap. You can probably get this for like $5 at Target. You know, I think I got this exact copy was probably like $5 at Target like 10 years ago or something. So you might be able to get this for like $3 now or something, but it's definitely worth it. So Twister, you know what, I'm not even gonna give it a rating because I don't know if it would be that accurate right now, just because I haven't watched it in totality in quite a bit. So I don't want to give it some romanticized rating, because I might rewatch it and be like, wait a minute, this wasn't quite, it was good, but it wasn't quite as good as I said it was or thought it was. So I won't give it a number rating right now because I don't want to commit to that, but I do think it's definitely worth a watch. So check out Twister, starring Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.